Hey, yo, what's going on? Derek here, back again. If you read the description, you'll know that I'm doing a little bit of lead follow up. Gonna start rounding back with all those people who I talked with over the past few months who hit me with the, you know, yeah, I'm interested, but call me next year type of response. So, gonna start calling through those today and hopefully open up the conversation a little bit and start pushing them in the right direction, right? If it was an excuse that they used before, just to kind of dismiss me, you'll find that that is the case a lot of the time. People kind of don't want to just tell you, no, I don't want to sell, stop calling me. And they'll say, oh, yeah, call me in a few months, maybe. So going to in those follow-up calls is where you really want to try to determine, okay, is this somebody who I want to continue following up with, or are they just kind of kicking the can down the road and they will do that forever, right? Not to say that it's not worth following up with them and just asking, because it only takes a quick minute to call them up and then for them to say, yeah, call me in a few months. But uh you know time is valuable. So welcome. If this is your first time, my name is Derek. I'm wholesaling virtually, so cover everything virtual wholesaling real estate on the channel. I live in California. I'm sourcing opportunity out in Houston, Texas. So if you are in Houston and would like to network, feel free to either click there's a couple links in the description of the videos. One is going to be my Instagram. You can follow me, shoot me a DM. We can connect that way. And I just created a Discord group as well. That's in the description. You can hop in there, and it's just trying to create a little bit of a platform where we can connect when I'm offline, right? As opposed to everybody kind of waiting until I stream to hop in the comments and to connect with each other. Want to have like a little hub where people can connect when I'm not streaming. So the link is in the description again to that Discord group. If this is your first time and you take anything away from the content, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. On our way to 100 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Sitting at about 81 right now. Uh, Blew past my goal of 75 before the end of the year. So thank you to everybody, all the recent subscribers who hopped on and showed support. Appreciate you guys. I just finished up this morning doing a little bit of virtual driving for dollars. That's kind of my main form of building my list. Um, I virtually drive for dollars again, and I just use pretty much Google Maps. So let me show you. Uh, I don't use any applications or anything like that. So I just simply print out a map of where I want to drive, and I trace my route so that I don't, drive those same streets again. Uh, that's how I'm building my list. I build it within PropStream. I kind of do a little bit of a double check to make sure that I'm going after the lower hanging fruit. And that's why I use PropStream. So I'll take the properties, I'll input them into PropStream. It's kind of a two-step process as opposed to your typical, if you were physically driving and you just see a property and you write it down. It's like, okay, I'm going to call these people. By doing it the way that I'm doing it virtually and cross-referencing PropStream, I get to determine, okay, or I get to see before I actually add them to my list. Well, how long has this person owned this property? How many properties does this person own? Do they have any liens against the property? Is this going to be, just any signs of motivation or lack of motivation, right? If somebody owns 100 plus properties, the likelihood of them wanting to sell this one property that I'm calling them on is pretty slim. If they bought the property within the last 12 months, the likelihood of them wanting to sell to me for cash at a discount is pretty slim. So I can kind of get rid of all those other ones and again just kind of go after the lower hanging fruit, the people who may have liens, the people who have owned the property for 10 plus years, the people who have their property and maybe the one other property that I'm calling on. uh, but rant over. I'm kind of just diving a little bit of deep into my process here, but if you're interested in learning how I build my list driving for dollars virtually, I do have a little mini series on my channel that you can check out. I need to update it because it's essentially the same process, but I've streamlined it a little bit so it's not as tedious and time consuming. So I do plan to release kind of a version 2 updated version of that process, but again, it's fairly similar. And you can check that out on my channel, a little playlist. I think it's called my virtual driving for dollars process. And then I use batch skip tracing to go ahead and skip trace those properties For those who are unfamiliar with what skip tracing means, essentially is just going to kick you back. I use, again, batch skip tracing. It's going to kick you back up to 10 phone numbers, up to 3 emails, and a lot of other information about the property and the owners, that it's pulling from public record, right? So you pay for the it's all pretty much information that you may be able to get elsewhere for free, but you pay for the data software that is giving you the convenience of compiling all this data for you and presenting it to you, nice and neat. So again, I use batch skip tracing to get my data, meaning my phone numbers. The link is in the description, to sign up for batch skip tracing. It is free to sign up. And I do think that once you sign up using my link, it will kick back a little bit something to me when you go to skip trace. I'm not quite sure what it is. Nobody's ever done it yet, but it is an affiliate link. Just full disclosure, I will get a little something if you do end up using it. Um, I'm not cool enough to get you a discount code yet, but a discount code that I frequently use is TTP from Brent Daniels. So you can go ahead and do that. I think it knocks it down something like 15 cents a property record, down from 20, I believe it's at. Um, so yeah, today I'm going to, like I said, call through some of these leads that I've generated before. Um, I'm going to start by, if you haven't watched any of my prior videos as well, I do not operate off of like a central CRM. So I have two forms of marketing, which is my texting and my cold calling. My cold calling is kind of done and managed on my dialer. I use call tools for my dialer. And then my texting is managed on my texting platform. I use REI Reply for that. So if I generate a lead through text, I set myself a follow-up task, follow-up call, just a reminder on my texting platform, and vice versa. If I cold call somebody and I generate a lead that way, I'm setting myself a follow-up call on my dialer. So I kind of have to jump back and forth, to make sure that I am following up with everybody that I want to follow up with. So I'm going to start over here on my texting platform to go through some of these follow-ups. So this gentleman, he had a property out in Austin, which is not a market that I'm in. Again, I'm in Houston. So he brought me this opportunity, and it was kind of, yeah, I'll check it out. And it ended up being, it seems like a really good deal price wise. But what happened was he had entered into a contract with what sounded like another wholesaler. Um, and they burned him. They got all the way down to like the last minute, a week before closing, and then they tried to play with him, saying that they couldn't get their money, yada yada. Why not just get your real estate license? Because that's not the route I want to take. Real estate license, in my opinion, unless you have sights on becoming a broker and owning your own brokerage and stuff like that, you're still working for somebody. Even if you are a broker, and I don't know. That's just my opinion. You're still going to be working for the client, not like you don't work for people in, wholesaling. But wholesaling, the way that I understand it, spreads are much bigger. You can just do quick math with that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of just sitting back here and doing this, especially virtual. You can't necessarily do real estate, be an agent virtually. So I like the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like virtual lifestyle, being able to work from wherever, whenever. I was out in Hawaii, closing my second deal, making calls to my seller, making calls to my title company. And I was literally in Hawaii, facilitating, an $8,000 wire transfer. So, it's just stuff that you wouldn't be able to do as an agent. I mean, I'm sure you could do something along those lines, but it's just kind of the route that I chose. Two different, completely different business models. Uh, but yeah, here we go. This guy in Austin, he was like, he got burned by a wholesaler, and he was hesitant to move forward. He was like, "Oh, well, I want high earnest money. Uh, I want you to waive your inspection period. I don't want you to have an inspection period, because I don't want to raise concerns with the tenant. I don't want you walking the property and the tenant feeling like, oh, am I going to get kicked out? Uh, whatever the case is." I'm gonna kind of put this guy off for now. It's a deal. It's not in my market. It's just kind of, it's not something that's gonna get the ball rolling for me this morning. This woman, uh, this is somebody that I referred to, Jared, one of the subscribers here on the channel, and his girlfriend or his wife. I'm not sure of the relationship status, but his girl reaches out to some of my Spanish speaking leads. So I referred this one over to her. I just kind of have a little reminder, check in with them, see if they've heard anything. She actually went out of the country, so if they haven't locked anything up now, it's going to be kind of closer to the end of February that's going to happen. That's when she's going to get back, and that's when her tenants are going to get evicted. So if something's going to happen, it's going to be closer to the end of February on that one. So I'm going to push that one out a little bit, just kind of tidying it up here. Same with this one. This is one that didn't really it wasn't a true Spanish speaking lead, but I was going back and forth with her using Google Translate through text, and she was like, I'm not completely interested in selling, but I'm down to talk about it. So this is another one that I shot over to them. Kind of follow up with them, see if they ever got a hold of her. Marilyn, I want to shoot a quick text. Any luck with that list? I haven't gotten it uploaded yet, REI Capital. I haven't gotten it uploaded yet, but I do plan to. I also plan to call whoever had sent me that fire damage property out in, I think it was Dallas or maybe it was Austin. But I did notice REI Capital that, and this is no shade being thrown or anything like that. The list is very small, which is, to be quite honest, why I have kind of just put it on the back burner. If it was a much grander list, I would have been much quicker to upload it into my system and give it a call. But it was very small. The way that my KPIs, my key performance indicators, my stats are panning out with that size list, I would I would only be talking to the correct homeowner out of that size list. I would only really be talking to like three people, and out of those three people, the likelihood of one of those people wanting to sell is very low. Um, I work with a much larger sample size of properties. The idea behind it is 15% contact rate, and for me, I find that like one out of every 50 people, correct people that I get a hold of, based on that 15% contact rate, um, are true hot leads that want to talk about it and want to move forward with something like that. So, out of 1,000 property records, I'll probably get a hold of 100, 150 of them. Out of those 100 and 150, I'm thinking, two to three of them are going to be serious sellers. But then out of those two to three, I obviously haven't closed enough deals, and figured out the KPIs on the back end to let you know. But out of those two to three that are like serious sellers, if I could get like one out of those two to three locked up, with at an attractive enough price for a buyer, I think that'd be pretty good. Pretty good ratio that I'd be looking at there. So I do, again, REI Capital, I do plan on uploading that because I appreciate you sending it over. But that's kind of just to explain why there has been hesitation on my end, because it's a fairly small list. So if you, again, I'm down to call through it. I'm down to call through your list if you want to send them to me, and we can take down the deal. We can split it 50-50 on the JV or however you want to do it. But I'll be forthright. It the size of the list, it wasn't quite good use of my time. I feel like I would honestly spend more time uploading the list into my dialer than I actually would calling through the list. So this woman, Marilyn, if you've followed the channel, she's somebody who I had a verbal agreement with, and she started playing games. A week went by. She had doctor's appointments that popped up that she forgot about. And then she called me one Saturday morning, and I called her right back, and she started, she was like, "Oh, are you the realtor?" Which really bothered me. Again, we already had a verbal agreement, and we had one in place for like a week. And then it was clear that she was shopping it around still, talking to people. And she was like, oh, yeah. I was like, no, we came to a verbal agreement at 145 last week. And she was like, oh, right, right, right. Can you do 150? And I said, no, I got to put my foot down at one point because 145 was already so tight. And that, I say that because didn't have anything to do with my ego. It was just factual numbers. 150, 145 was tight as is. I would have had to put in a lot of work, I think, to find a buyer to be able to get any type of an assignment fee on it. So 150, it was like, you know, it was too much. So I let her know that, and she said, "Okay, bye," and hung up. So I was like, "All right, whatever." That's a relationship that got burned right there. But I've followed up with her since then. I said, "Hey, I haven't heard back from you, so I'm assuming that you want another offer. Um, hopefully you got what you were looking for, just in case something happens and your other buyer is unable to uphold his or her end of the agreement. I want you to know that my finance manager gave me approval." Uh, to have our $145,000 offer stand through the end of the year. If I don't speak with you before then, hope you have a wonderful holiday season. She didn't text back. Texted her 2 weeks later. Hey, Marilyn, just wanted to run back about your place. Did you end up getting what you wanted for it? Didn't text back. Text her back now, about 2 weeks later. Marilyn, just rounding back about your property over on Park Drive. Did you end up selling that one? Did you end up, I'm going to say just like officially selling that one? And then I kind of want to, for her, if she doesn't text back, I'm going to put her into just a drip sequence so that I don't have to continue coming back here and manually texting her every time I want to follow up. That's why I have this set up. I can put her into a drip campaign where she just gets automatically texted every so often. And I'm going to put her into this one, lead offer stage, offer made but not accepted. Just kind of briefly, hey, just following up on an offer that I made a few weeks ago. If you want to talk, as a reminder, we can also take care of the closing costs. If you're happy with the offer, let me know. Um, and these ones, I recently ran into an issue with spam, popping up, being flagged with the carriers. But these campaigns have those type of blacklisted words in it, but it's because these people we've already texted back and forth. So I'm only ever going to put somebody in this campaign if they've already replied to me. And once they reply to me, it opens up that window of opportunity to say whatever I want to them. Right. So that's why a lot of people, when they text, they will just say like, "Hey, Derek." And then I'll text them back and be like, "Yeah, who's this?" And the act of me texting them back now allows them to say whatever they want. And they can say, "Hey, I saw your property here. Did you want a cash off?" They can say whatever, any type of blacklisted word, because uh, in the eyes of the carrier, the seller has already texted back and that conversation has been initiated. It's just the initial text that they're concerned with. So I'm going to put her into this campaign here. And I do that by just tagging her offers, and that will put her into that new campaign. And then she's going to get that first text in 10 days. So I'm going to let's say follow up as she sold property. I'm going to set this one out like 4 months because she will again get texted automatically for I think that long, maybe even longer. So I'll follow up with her like beginning of March. All right, next guy, Jerry Hawkins is his name. Jerry. All right, so Jerry, I texted about halfway through December. He says, I can talk about it, but I'm not giving it away. I said, of course. I'd only want to move forward if it made sense for the both of us. Did you have a number in mind? He said 275. I said, okay, could you tell me a bit about the current condition? Any major or minor repairs needed? Roof has some hail damage. The heater's about 1 year old. Plumbing's been changed. Slab's been leveled. May still need work, he says. Just installed new insulated windows in the front, and I remodeled the master bath. And I said, well, okay, to be honest, I'm not sure if we'd be the best fit. We're looking for something that we can build some equity in through doing the renovations ourselves. It seems like you've already done a lot of the work. I said, what would you say if anything could be updated to bring it all the way up to 2021, 2022 standards? He says you could rewire the house, sand and refinish the hardwood floors, repair some cracked sheetrock, replace some more windows, remodel the kitchen and the other bathroom, replace the driveway, replace the garage doors. I said, all right, and does it have a central AC? He said, yeah, I believe it was replaced a few years ago. I said, okay, I'll run the numbers on this to see if I can come up to the 275. If I was able to be somewhere in that ballpark, is this something you're wanting to move forward on ASAP? I didn't run the numbers. I'm just kind of feeling out his timeline here. He says, I'll have to find another place to live before I can sell this one. I said, okay, would you need to use the proceeds from this property to buy the next? He said, yes. I haven't even started looking yet. I'm thinking of moving to some small town. Um, and I was like, okay, that's my question. And I was kind of pitching him the concept of um, we might be able to help you out with your move. We might be able to hire some movers, get you in contact with a realtor to help with the purchase of your new home, allow you to remain in the current house for a period of time after we buy it to make it a stress-free transition. I said, does that sound good? And then I said, let's take a few weeks. That way it gives you some time to figure out where it is that you're wanting to move to. Um, and it'll allow me some time to run the numbers. And he said, okay, thumbs up. And I said, perfect. I'll round back with you early January. Have happy holidays. So, Jared, what's going on? I had a follow up task for myself just now to follow up with you about those two Spanish speaking leads. I hadn't heard back from you, so I'm assuming that you hadn't talked with them recently. So I just kind of kicked that out. But since you're in here, I figured I'd bring it up. So I'm going to call this guy. I never actually talked to him on the phone. It was all text. Hopefully my dog stops barking in his sleep here so that I can actually have a conversation with the gentleman. But let's see what this estimate is on it real quick, just out of curiosity to see if 275 is like outrageous. I think it probably is. His estimate's 282. I could see ARV pushing up, somewhere to 320-ish. In which case I would, need to be somewhere around 245 less repairs on a 1,700 square foot place based on the repairs that he's saying. I can't remember. He says the roof has some damage. I don't know if it needs to be replaced. AC's newer, water heater's newer. The foundation may need repair. And like half of the stuff, he's already remodeled one of the bathrooms. So I would just need to, or the buyer do the other bathroom and the kitchen. So it's kind of like average to heavy is what it sounds like. More like average because the AC's newer, the water heater's newer. He's done the master bath. So for something like this, I'd probably, be somewhere around 200, quite honest. But that's without running comps. That's just me kind of spitballing. So I'm gonna give him a call. I think that, just based off of his asking price, it's not a deal. But since we had that conversation unfold a little bit, I'm hoping that me offering some of those benefits that I proposed will have him move on his price a little bit.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Jerry Hawkins
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Jerry, this is Derek. I just wanted to round back with you. I don't know if you recall, we were going back and forth through text a few weeks back in regards to your property over on Shadow Bend Drive. We left off with, just taking a few weeks. It sounded like you wanted to do a little bit more research on figuring out where it is exactly you wanted to end up moving to if you did end up selling this place. So that's what I'm doing now. Just wanted to round back, see if you've given it any more thoughts. As a reminder, again, my name is Derek, and my partner and myself do have some cash on hand. So we are looking to buy something cash, and we can buy it in its as is condition. So we wouldn't necessarily require you to make any repairs. I'd love to hear back from you and see if this is something that you might be interested in moving forward with. My direct line here is this number in case it didn't pop up on caller ID. It is 832 532. Talk to you soon. Roxy checking in. Good afternoon, everyone. What's going on? It's morning for me. Almost afternoon, 4:36. Got to write these numbers down. All right, that's that one. Notes, filed, no voicemail. All right. Push these tasks out. Call him on Monday. I also want to run some comps on this just to get a general feel to see, 275 may even be somewhere um, in the ballpark, but it's lower than his estimate, at least. At the very least, it is lower than his estimate. But you might have to get batch leads now because that prop stream stuff. I know, Jared. I know it's pretty much batch boys now. I'll be quite honest. That's a shame. That's a shame. I was just watching Brent Daniels live stream earlier, and I knew that they got bought out. My coach Chris Jefferson had kind of posted to the group yesterday, like, you know, I think he's gonna host a session today to talk about it. But it really affects us, Jared, in Texas and other people in non-disclosure states, um, because that's our kind of saving grace is the fact that the MLS data is available to us, so that we can comp properties and determine ARV. Whereas, in disclosure states, it's going to be available regardless, right? You're going to be able to find that information. But in non-disclosure states, it's really hurt. And yeah, I found out Brent had said this on his live stream that it was a title company that bought it out. So people were talking about it in my group, like, oh, it's just, it's another way that these agents and these brokers and these people who are on the traditional side of real estate are pushing out the wholesalers by buying up these things. So it sounds like this title company bought PropStream and started making changes as to how to, appeal to an agent so that an agent can use PropStream, right? As opposed to an investor. So it's pretty much batch boys now. I'm giving it a few days, letting it breathe to see if some type of change comes down the pipe instead of, I don't want to act too irrationally and just jump ship. But it's looking like it. Same. I was almost finished watching it, but decided to hop on here. He said batch gets their data from a different source, so they're good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Batch, the new wave now, the dialer texting and now batch leads prop stream kind of fading away now. Yeah, exactly. Now that this has happened, I fully regret turning away from batch leads. I was all batch when I first started. We were texting with batch. We were um I was on batch. I was on batch before they rolled out their comping tool and before they rolled out the dialer. I was part of the not to like this isn't like, oh, I've been in this for so long, but uh batch dialer was my first dialer. We were dialing by hand before, and then they rolled out batch dialer, and we were like, you know what? Like we're already using batch leads to stack our list and to text. Let's try out the dialer. So we were kind of like on the early wave when they rolled it out, and we didn't know what we were doing. So we were like, this isn't it. Like we need to get a different dialer. And then we found Mojo, but in all honesty, I think we just didn't know what the hell we were doing. So we never gave their dialer a fair chance. I hear people having great success with it. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty, yeah, like I said, it's pretty much batch boys at this point. PropStream definitely dropped the ball. Much easier too when you're using one platform for everything. Exactly, since they connect. Exactly, and that's another thing. Exactly, and then they roll. Yeah, and then they rolled out their comp, so you can literally do everything. And with updates, everything just gets better. Right. So it's pretty much batch, boys. That's what my intention is. I've already, and to oddly enough, I literally just paid for PropStream. I had won a full year's subscription from Lauren Hardy. If you're familiar with her on Instagram, her tag is this mom flips. She's kind of like she educates in the virtual space of wholesaling as well. And I won her Instagram giveaway December of 2020, and it was a full year's subscription to PropStream, and that year had just told. So I was like, all right, I'm getting good value out of PropStream. It's worth paying $100 a month for, and I just signed up like literally like a week ago, and then this happened. So I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna get my money's worth since I've already paid for the month, and then uh, I'm gonna probably jump ship if they haven't made any dramatic changes to get me the data that I need, because it's not happening right now. Yeah, familiar with her. Yeah, yeah, she's great content. All right, back to the follow-ups. John Crawford. I renewed the lease October 1st, so would be a while. I said, do you think there's any interest once that lease is up? I'd love to stay in touch and connect when the time's right. I'm in the process of preparing my residence and my other rental for sale at the end of January. The other rental is also in spring. Would you like to make an offer on that one? Absolutely, as long as it's good for the both of us. Did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to get for it? There's a similar house in that neighborhood that recently listed for 250K. If someone took mine as is, I'd consider much less than that. One of the best things about the subdivision is its location, yada yada. Okay, great. Did you have a moment to hop on the phone real quick so I can learn about the property? Stop texting me. 10 days later, hey, John, just wanted to round back. I'd love to hop on a call with you and learn a bit about that property if you're willing to sell toward the end of January. No text back. But if you'd like to just continue texting, that's completely fine with me as well. I kind of gave him this out, right? Like some people just don't like getting on the phone. I just want to be sure that I have all the info needed. And he says, I was planning to do a little fix up, carpet and paint before I list it. What is your offer as is? I said for a cat, and this at this point I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna put an offer out there. For a cash offer, I would likely be in the range of 115 to 130. I ran comps, and my max on this would be around 150, assuming that a light rehab is all that's needed. So that's why I came in a little lower just in case. He's saying he was gonna do carpet and paint, but in all reality, it's probably gonna need a lot more than that to fetch top dollar. I said, now that's if carpet paint is all is needed in order to fetch top. Here we go, fetch top dollar. I'm seeing properties similar to yours that have sold anywhere between 185 200K. Is that more or less what you were thinking? He didn't text me back, so I'm gonna go ahead and call him right now and put him in the hot seat. I'm following right now too. These people don't be answering. I'll keep following up forever for sure. So I'm gonna give this guy a call. Mr. Crawford is his name. Let him know that we spoke about his property. It sounded like he wanted to list it though. I was kind of under the assumption that he was looking for an off market sale. So I'm gonna dig a little deeper on that, or try to at least, and try to determine the what's going on with him and the true condition of the property, so that I can make him the absolute best offer I can.
Hi, this is John. Sorry, I missed your call. Please leave your name and phone number, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, what's going on, John? This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, but we were going back and forth a few weeks back in regards to your property over on Spring Ranch Lane. Just wanted to reconnect with you, see if you've given it any more thought. It sounded like you wanted to do a little bit of, carpet paint yourself before listing it, but that you were considering and entertaining, as is cash offers before you went ahead and did that. So I'd love to get you an offer. I'd love to talk a little bit about it with you. So when you get a chance, if you could please give me a call back at your earliest convenience, it'd be much appreciated. Again, my name is Derek, and my direct line here is 832. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Stefan, yo, happy wholesaling. Just locked up a deal today while at work. Let's go. Oh my God, Stefan, you just got paid on something too, didn't you? Stefan's going crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Congratulations. Keep us updated. What's it looking like? What's the spread looking like? You think you're going to take something crazy down, or is it going to be something small? Leaving myself a note here. I'll left voicemail. I wonder if I call myself off of this number, if it'll work. I want to see if it's popping up as spam. Can't call your own mobile number. Whatever. Whatever. All right. Dial left voicemail. Going to give him a call on Friday. He's talking about wanting to sell it at the end of the month, so I'm going to stay on top of this one. And I mean, yeah, he's saying a house is on sale for 250. If someone took mine as is, I'd consider much less than that. So I don't know what much less than that means. I'm offering him about $100,000 less than that. I don't know if that's again what he's thinking is much less, but that's what the numbers are telling me. So it's a very small subdivision. He's using that as a selling point, but I'm looking at it as, yeah, but people aren't necessarily going to just pay more money because of I mean, they would, but nothing crazy. You know what I mean? The problem with it is the potential on price points is capped because there's no comps in the area. There's nothing to justify a higher sale price. So he's looking at it like this is a great area, and I'm looking at it like, yeah, but there's no data to justify this price. You know what I mean? Nothing sold. And I had left a note for myself. There was nothing sold in this little pocket where his house is in the year of 2021. So that alone is like, thanks. Just a 7K assignment fee, not much. Yeah, something light, some slight on that one. Just a quick 7K. Crazy, Stefan. Something slim. Congratulations again. Keep us updated. Anybody who's in here right now, do me a favor. Go into the description of this video and join the Discord group that I just created. It's very bare bones, very limited in what's in there right now. But I want to just start getting people in there so that we can connect and we talk when I'm offline, when I'm not on stream. That way you guys can connect and network and talk offline as well. Just a little bit of a centralized hub so that nobody has to wait for me to go live or anything like that. So and that just kind of reminded me, Stefan, right there. Like I'd love for you to hop into the Discord, and keep us updated with that deal right there. Because it's motivating, man. You motivate me the way that you're going through these right now. You're going crazy with it. So uh, I want to keep surrounding myself with people who are talking that talk, you know, and walking the walk too. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be doing things, but another to be taking down deals, closing deals, getting paid 7,000 on assignments. So I want to keep surrounding myself in all as much as possible. So I do that by hopping on live with you guys here. But when I step away from my computer, I want to stay in that element. I want to stay in that brain space. Angel here, she was like, I got offers over your offer price. I think I offered like 100,000 on this one. She plans to move forward with an offer. She said she got an offer in the range of 125 to 130. I asked if it was appropriate to follow up to be sure that she was being taken care of. She had no problem with that, but mentioned that she did have other offers that were higher than my 100,000. 100,000 is pretty much my max on this. The way that I've calculated ARV is at 180, and yeah, I mean, I may be able to go. round back to see what type of condition it was in. Quit, bud. Older home. I'm pretty sure will need work. I have 3 offers on the table. So she didn't even give me a like. She just said it's an older home. I'm sure it's gonna need work. So his estimate right now is 178. When I calculated ARV back on November 3rd, it was around 180. Maybe it's a little higher now, but 1,700 square feet on the home. She says I'm pretty sure it's gonna need work, which means that it needs everything pretty much. If I want to bank on the fact that it doesn't need like a roof or foundation repair, anything serious, I can just say it's like more or less an average rehab, which would put me at about 100,000. And 100,000 is only going to net me like a 10 or less $1,000 assignment fee. So I rounded back with her last on the 20th December, texted her saying, "Hey Angel, just wanted to round back with you. I know you mentioned that you plan on moving forward with an offer in that 125 to 130 range. So I just wanted to check in and see if you accepted that. I'd love to be here for you as a backup in case anything falls through. Hope you have happy holidays." She never texted back, so I'm going to give her a call right now and just kind of try to get an answer to that. Hey, did you end up accepting that offer? Because she was very on the fence, like didn't even really want to sell, but then she started getting offers and was like, "Oh wow, it'll go for that much? Yeah, I'll sell it." So she's not like crazy motivated.
Yes, you have reached my voicemail. I am sorry I was unavailable to take your call at the moment. But if you leave your name, number, and a brief message, I will get back with you shortly. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Hey Angel, this is Derek. Not sure if you recall, but we were going back and forth a bit about your property over on Canterway Drive. We last spoke about a month ago, and you had let me know that you were likely going to move forward with an offer that you received in the range of around 125 to 130,000. And I kind of at that point let you know that I don't think that I would be able to come upwards of 130 to compete with that offer, but I would love to kind of make you an offer so that you have it in your back pocket just in case anything falls through or anybody tries to play games with you in terms of the price. So I just wanted to reconnect, make sure that selling was something that you were definitely still interested in, and if so, to make you that offer so that you can have it in your back pocket. Again, my name is Derek, and my direct line here is 832. Talk to you soon. Voicemail. Left voicemail. I'll call her next week. I didn't realize that it had already been a month that passed. That she said she was likely going to move forward with that offer. I'll call her on Monday. Don Juan. Oh, and that deal they got canceled, it's back on. Close next Thursday. Let's go. He ended up calling me back begging, basically. Ooh. Oh, man, I love to hear it. Begging. That's what I'm talking about. What was going on? I kind of remember this. I thought that it was probably just the price. Um, Probably just the price. And that's why I think, recommending to just go back to him and say, like, look, is it the price? Just being honest with him. But now I'm curious. Begging you, that makes it sound like maybe somebody else was making him other offers and they were lowballing him compared to what your offer was. And he realized, like, okay, I need to do this. Or I'm sure it was some type of life situation as well. Um, and realized that he was just playing games with you. He was playing himself. He played himself, thinking that he could, you know, start acting up with you, and then you were just gonna give in to what he wanted. And I'm proud of you for for not just doing what I said and offering him more money. So proud of you, Don Juan. That's great. Congratulations. Sounds like it's already assigned and everything too. Let me know how much you're expecting in your assignment fee on that one. Mr. Potts here said off the first text, I will sell for 125,000. I said, okay, can you tell me about the current condition? He never texted back. Texted him about a month later. Hey, just wanted to round back and see if there was still any interest in selling your place. If so, I'd love to connect. He never texted back. Before that, I had caught him while I was at work. He mentioned that he had rented the place out for 12 years, but now it is vacant. So dealing with a vacant property here. Going to give this gentleman a call. I'm in the gathering phase right now. Been on the hunt. Now I got to start bringing in these deals here. It ended up being the wife in his ear. Of course. Of course. I love it when the wife is like more reasonable than the husband. On my first deal, I've gone on rants about this, but essentially the way that I made the offer was I asked if he had an outstanding mortgage balance. He said, yeah, I think I owe about 48. And I said, okay, well, how would you like to walk away with maybe $10,000 after that gets paid off? And I can offer you 58. But that was my mistake because it ended up taking about 60 days to close. So by the time it closed, his mortgage balance continued to stack up because his daughter who lived in the property stopped making payments altogether. So by the time closing happened, I was also unfamiliar with the fact that he owed like $2,000 in back taxes. So by the time that happened, he was only going to walk away with like 4,000 as opposed to the 10, which is how I proposed it in my offer. And he was like, I'm telling you, we had a mobile notary out at his house. They were signing the closing documents. He calls me and is like, hey, I'm looking at this. And I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. You had told me that you only owed 48. But if you see there on the settlement statement, it says that you actually owe 53 and you owe about, $1,000 to $2,000 in taxes. So that's why you're only going to walk away with this. And I kid you not. He says, oh man, he says, honey, she's in the background, honey, this is why, it is what it is. I mean, do you still want to sell? And my heart dropped. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. And the wife in the background, yeah, of course we have to sell. Okay, we'll still sell. And I was, oh, jeez, thank God. So, there's always that too, going back and forth, the whole conflict of interest with the spouse. I'm gonna give this gentleman a call. I'm gonna have to hop. I'm getting my haircut in like an hour, so gotta gear up for that. And I don't want to end up getting on the phone with a hot lead and then not being able to pursue the conversation. I'm gonna try to test this number.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Potts.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek.
What's going on, dear?
Not much. Just wanted to round back with you. I don't know if you recall. We had talked a few weeks back in regards to your property over on Creston Drive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just wanted to round back with you. The last week kind of finished. I think last time I talked, I caught you when you were at work, so it wasn't a good time. But just wanted to round back. Did you still have interest in possibly selling that place?
Oh man, I got some people trying to get it now, man. I think I'm gonna keep that forward.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
My wife don't want me to sell it.
What'd you say, the wife?
Yeah, she don't want me to sell it. She want me to keep it, man. So
I gotcha.
so I'm gonna probably go ahead and keep it.
Yeah, I remember last time we talked, you said it was vacant, correct?
Yeah, vacant. The rentals moved out in November.
Okay. So if you do end up holding on to it, what's the plans?
Shit, I can remodel it and probably put it on houses or something.
Okay. So there's no issue there. What kind of work does it need? Is it going to be a heavy remodel, or is it just going to be?
Really, but I'm a remodel the whole house. I
Okay.
really don't need them but a roof, and I want to replace the window, but I'm gonna go ahead and remodel the whole house. So just add heat in it, just redo the whole house. Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to step on the wife's toes, obviously, but just out of curiosity, I mean, if I could come in with cash and buy it as is so that you don't have to make any repairs, did you or the wife kind of have a number in mind that you'd be open to walk away with to make it attractive enough?
Cause that's what I'm saying. I got some people now, and they try to give me 125 for it. So I'm like, yeah, and I looked it up. I looked it up yesterday, and it's valued at like 151. So yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna do nothing though.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't mind, and if it's appropriate, would you mind if I follow up? Say every 3 to 6 months, just to check in with you, see what the progress is like with the renovation.
That's cool.
All right. All right. I'll do that then. I'll kind of set myself a little follow up to round back with you and just kind of check in.
Okay. All righty.
All right. I appreciate you taking the call, Mr. Potts. I'll talk to
Okay.
you soon. Okay.
All right. Oh, okay. Bye bye.
Bye now. Yeah, that's unrealistic. The numbers he's talking. That's so funny. The wife too, Don Juan. I don't know if you're still in here, but how soon after you said that did I get on the phone with the seller talking about how his wife doesn't want him to sell it? That is pretty serendipitous, pretty ironic and coincidental. But uh yeah, on that one's estimates 117. He said that he got offered 125. In the area, I probably could imagine something going for, the ARV on this is probably like 150, like he's talking about, maybe even more, to be honest. In this area, values are pushing like 160, 170. But even at that, he says it's a vacant property. I'd imagine that it needs at least an average rehab on a 1,500 square foot place. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say 175 is ARV. I would still need it at around, you know, 85. So to be quite honest, I don't know why he didn't end up moving forward with the 125. If I had to guess, he actually never got that offer, but I'll take note of it. Said he will just, because it's vacant right now, and the more it starts bleeding his bank account with just sitting there vacant, he says they've moved out in November. So it's already been about 2 months that it's just been sitting there vacant. And he hasn't started with the renovation. So another 2 3 months goes by and he still hasn't done anything to it. Then it's getting to the point where he probably, even his wife, that's why I wanted to bring in, the wife. What do you think the wife would be happy with? If I could buy it as is. I got an offer for 125 and I saw that and I was looking at the Zestimate at 117. I was like, all right, this isn't a deal, but I'll follow up because I think he's just being unrealistic at this point. And if it continues to sit vacant for a long enough period of time, I think that maybe his expectations will be reset. Said he will just keep it and renovate the whole house. I tried my best to ask without saying, do you have the money to do that? You know what I mean? Because he says that, and I'm thinking, you're gonna renovate the whole house, and it's sitting vacant right now. It just didn't like add up. Like you have a vacant house that's been vacant for 2 months, and you don't know if you're going to do a full renovation. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem like he's the type of guy. Not to cast judgment or anything, but he's on my list for some reason. I don't quite know. Let's see actually what he's tagged with. Oh no, he's not gonna have. Yeah, this is a driving for dollars lead. So I mean, his place was in enough physical distress to end up on my driving for dollars list. So I don't know. That's just not. Take note on this one. It said he will just keep it and renovate the whole house himself. So instead, I asked, is it going to be a heavy renovation? Is that going to be an issue? Said he will just keep it and renovate the whole house himself. The wife doesn't want him to sell it. Thinks he will just renovate and re-rent afterwards. Said he got an offer for 125K and didn't accept. Mentioned that he did some research and figured his house was worth 150-ish. Eric received permission to follow up every 3 to 6 months to check in on reno project. We'll move this task out 3 months. Yeah, in my note here, I said I need to be anywhere from 40 to 80,000 cash, depending on condition. Yeah, because if it's going to be even heavier than that, I said 85. If it's going to be any heavier than that, I'm going to need it like around 60. So I'll follow up with him in. I mean, I almost want to. No, he's not going to have his expectations reset that quickly. I'll just follow up with him every like 3. I'll follow up with him in 3 months. April. And if I end up losing out on that deal, then I can only have myself to blame for not following up as frequently as I should have. But to me, his expectations of prices through the roof. He has a vacant property that he says he's going to do a full renovation to. So there's nothing other than the property being vacant that leads me to believe that he's lying about that. Just going to have to take it on his face. Armando texted me at one point saying, yes. I said, how soon were you looking to sell? He said, within the next 3 months. I said, can I call you real quick? He says, no, I'm at work. I said, when's the best time for me to reach out? He never texted back. A week later, I said, I'd love to get you an offer for your place. What's the best time for me to give you a call? Or if you'd like to just text, that's fine with me too. I would just need to learn a little bit about the condition. And he never texted back. So I'm going to call him right now. He said that he wanted to sell within the next 3 months. That was on December 14th. So he's looking at, maybe another 2 months that he's looking to sell. And I'm glad that Mr. Potts picked up and didn't say anything about my number being spam. I was a little concerned with that.
Please leave your message for 8327.
Hey there, Armando. This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we were going back and forth through text about a month ago in regards to your property over on Hazen Street. You let me know that you were interested in selling and you were looking to sell possibly within the next 3 or so months. And you had said that about a month ago. So I just wanted to round back with you now, seeing if you've given it any more thought. Just as a reminder, I do have some cash on hand, me and my partner here. So we're looking to pick up one property actually before the end of this month. So if selling was something that you're interested in, I'd love to connect with you. Love to learn a little bit more about the property. And just as another reminder, we can buy the property in its as-is condition, so we wouldn't require you to make any repairs or anything like that. So if that is something that you're interested in, please feel free to give me a call at your earliest convenience. My direct line here is 832-532. I'll talk to you soon. Left him a voicemail. I'll say dialed, left voicemail, texted, because now I'm going to shoot him a text right after. Hey, Armando, just left you a voicemail. Was there still interest in receiving an offer for your place on Hazen Street? I'm going to follow up with this guy weekly. Just seeing as though he is. Oh. Okay, so that's an issue. I just sent this guy a text and it immediately flagged as spam with the carrier. I think it's because I'm texting him off of the number that's bunk. I have a bad number, but I wanted to. Let me see if I copy and paste this text, if I can send him a different number. Yep, nope. I wonder why. It's probably because when I initially texted this guy, I was texting him off of the number that turned bad after the fact. So, I'll just have to call the guy. I'll just have to call the guy because I don't think that I can. I would have to start a new conversation with him, which I can do, I guess. I'm not going to spend time trying to figure that out right now, though. I'll just give him a call I guess I can text him real quick off of my number. Voicemail. Did you still have interest in receiving an offer on an offer for your place? Right. Okay. Do me a favor, everybody in here, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Appreciate you guys for tapping in always. I think that actually might be all the follow-ups that I had on my. Yeah, it was. I have a few people that I'm looking to refer to some of my, cash buyers, some of the bigger ones, particularly the gentleman who has the 6 single-family rentals that he wants to offload. I had texted him asking him if he was willing to come off of that price at all. He had said 700,000 cash, and he also proposed seller financing for all 6 properties. But the way that he was proposing it, it didn't quite make sense. Um, at first it didn't make sense to me, as in I didn't understand what he was saying, but after doing a little bit more research, educating myself, I realized what he was proposing. He was essentially proposing to carry the loan, seller financing, but he was offering it at rates similar to hard money loans, short term, high interest. He wanted a 3-year loan, 36 months at 8% interest with a sizable down payment. So at that point, it just doesn't make sense. I don't personally have hard money lender relationships, but I do know that some buyers that I have, they would be able to get much better terms than that, because essentially he wanted 8,000 plus down per property. So he wanted like 50,000 up front to then carry a loan for 3 years at 8% interest. Whereas like you may get 9, 10% interest from a hard money if you have good relationships, maybe even something lower. I don't know. But they wouldn't require you to put up so much money. They're going to require you to put up points, like percentage points. Um, but it's going to be something like, 2 points on a 700,000 uh, deal. They're going to require you to put up 14, 15K as opposed to 50K. So it's like, why would I entertain a seller financing deal where I could get better terms and just pay you that $700,000 cash that you were asking as well? So I think the way that he wants to do seller financing isn't appropriate. You see in my comments, no, I'm not, Don Juan. Last time one that I saw was it ended up being the wife in his ear. I don't know why. Sometimes that happens with me. Uh, Sometimes that happens on here. I don't know what's going on, but last comments that I have here are from Don Juan, 3 in a row that says, "Oh, and that deal got canceled." Next one, it ended up being the wife in his ear, and then the next one, you see in my comments. So I don't know if you're referring to those comments that I'm seeing right here, the ones that I just read, but if you were commenting something extra, I'm not seeing those, so I apologize. But yeah, so 700,000 is pretty. It's like right there. But for me to dispose 6 single family properties and for all the work that's going to go in, be involved with that, they're all rentals, they're all occupied. So to get them all delivered vacant to a cash buyer, I would just want a little bit more confidence. Damn, I wrote a whole paragraph. That's probably why, Don Juan. I do know that YouTube kind of filters out and they try to cancel out like spam. When I do go live, I make sure that I don't put like a timer on people. When you get in these bigger YouTube channels and they have crazy amount of comments, they will put like a timer, like, okay, you can only send a message every 30 seconds or something like that, just so that the person can keep up with the comments. But I don't have that. So it may be because you wrote such a long message, to be quite honest, but it's nothing that I'm doing on my end. It's probably YouTube just trying to filter that out. That's a good kind of a like learning thing for myself, though. I'm curious if that is the case. I kind of want to look into that. But this gentleman again, at 700,000, it's attractive. It's kind of right there at 700,000. I may be able to take an assignment fee of something small, but again, for 6 single families, I would want something a little bit more than. I just want to have the confidence to go into it. So in all likelihood, I would love to be at like 630, which is like 105 per property. He's asking for what's I think like 116 per property. And I think still do the deal at about 110 per property, which is like 660. That gives me a lot more confidence in being able to dispo those and assign those out. So I just wanted to see, I'm trying to get him to come off his number a little bit. But I got some other good news for y'all. Let's hear it, man. I'm telling you, hop in the Discord. If you guys are in here, hop in the Discord because I am getting ready to hop off. So I don't want you to feel like I'm cutting you off because I do want to hear that for sure. Some more good news. So that gentleman there is one, and then the other one is out in Austin. That one that has a good spread on it, but he's just asking for, he wants his cake and to eat it too. He's asking for a bunch of other stuff. So that's that. I gotta skedaddle. Go get my haircut. Get ready to get my haircut. Run by the bank. Get some cash. Because my barber, man, he got a ATM machine up in there. Costs like $5 to pull cash out. So I'll do it if I'm late, but I'd rather just run by the bank real quick. So got a fire new lead source. I'm up 10K this year already. Let's go. Congratulations, Don Juan. Tell us about it. But tell us about it in the Discord channel or when I go live tomorrow. Appreciate you guys hopping in here. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'd love to have you guys in the Discord channel so that we can continue the conversation when I hop off. I can be up in the barber chair just kind of talking, chatting with you guys, but I can't go live on YouTube when I'm sitting in the barber chair. So hit the link in the description with the Discord. What's the Discord? The link is in the description. It's called Funnel Feeders is the name of it if you can find it elsewhere without actually just clicking the link in the description. But the link is in the description. Go ahead, click that, join. It's free. So I'd love to see you guys in there. Until the next one, till tomorrow, peace.